Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
What's going on, people? Welcome to Black Man Think Podcast. I am your host, JD, aka Last Name Good, and as you can see, I'm Dolo tonight. But the fellas had some previous things that they had to take care of, so I was like, you know what? Let's do something special. So what we're doing tonight is we're actually going to have some of our Patreon members come on the pod, right? Be some special guests. So those some of the benefits of being uh, members of our Patreon account, you get to come on the pod, right? And so tonight we may have one or two people that come on, but we thought what better way to kick this special pod off today with having a special guest. So we're going to talk about whatever our Patreon member topics that they come up with. So anything that they want to talk about, they want to address, we're going to talk about here, or I'm going to talk about here, and hopefully, you guys enjoy the conversation that we're going to have tonight. So I do see that the homie Walt, he's in the waiting room, so we're going to bring him in real quick. Walt, what's going on, man? See if Walt coming. Can you hear me? You're uh,
Yeah,
okay. Cool. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay, cool, man. Well, look, welcome to the Black Man Think podcast. We're rolling live now, man, and um, like I was telling the people before you came into the room, I'm rolling dolo tonight. The fellas, Corey and Mo, they had some stuff they had to handle tonight, so I was like, what better way to do this than bring on some of our Patreon members onto the pod, right? So tonight. We're open book, man. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And first off, thank you. I think you are actually the latest Patreon member. Um, so thank you. Want to make sure that we thank you for joining our Patreon, man, and being part of the family. We know that you can spend your money anywhere, bro. So the fact that you choose to spend some with us, we're not gonna act like we don't appreciate that. So definitely thank you for that. Number one.
no problem. Thank y'all for the content.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, bro, absolutely. So, like I said tonight, man, it's open topic, bro, open season. So, anything that you want to talk about, I'm here to let's discuss, bro. Like, what's on your mind right now?
Uh, well, I mean, I heard y'all talking about LeBron recently, and you
Man,
know, it's rough. It's
yeah,
rough. I told my homeboys. I said if it's two people that it's tough to be a fan of, it's LeBron and Meek Mill,
it, it is.
because the two.
Where you from, bro?
Go ahead, Baltimore.
Baltimore. Okay, okay. I thought you was gonna say you from Philly. So, explain to me why is it hard to be a fan of LeBron and a fan of Meek Mill?
Because the two light skinned boys got their number.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's crazy thing is I already know who you're talking about. That's the funny part. I don't know.
Hello.
Is it I'm breaking up or are you breaking up? Well, I don't know if Walt can still hear me. If you can hear me, bro, keep coming in. In the meantime, we're gonna keep talking. It looks like he's still here, but I don't know, man. Internet connection, that's the only thing about dealing with Zoom. Sometimes you have to deal with the internet going in and out. So as Walt come back in, hopefully we'll be able to get him in here soon so he can talk back with us with Meek Mill and and our friend LeBron James. I'm a fan of LeBron James for sure. I'm not so much a fan of Meek Mill. I'm not gonna say that I don't like Meek Mill, but I'm not like a huge fan of Meek, to be honest. Like he's not somebody that I listen to on a regular basis. Oh look, we got Walt coming back in, so hold on. Let's see if we can get him in here. All right, Walt. I don't know. We got disconnected some kind of way, but it looked like we got you back.
Yeah,
So you said
yeah, no.
Meek Mill
I
and
was
LeBron.
I was saying no, because those two light skinned boys got their number.
So let me guess the two light skinned guys you're talking about. So number one for Meek Mill, I'm gonna say you're talking about Drake. I'm assuming Drake, right?
Yes,
All
yes,
right. And so for LeBron, I'm assuming you talk about Steph Curry.
yes,
All right, we're on
yes.
the same page then. All right, so we know hip hop.
So being a fan of LeBron, like, then, and it's funny, like, I remember seeing the tweet that Meek sent. I remember seeing it, like,
Hmm.
screw the people screenshotting. I saw it live, like,
Okay.
oh, I'm like, you ever see something and be like, all right, if I saw that, I know everybody sees that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's how that felt. And it was just like, all right, let me go and ride this storm out. It's a little rainy. It's a
Yeah, man.
lot of rain.
A lot of rain came, but that
A
was good.
lot of rain came down with that. So it's so no, but just hoping LeBron and them, you know, I knew the Russ thing wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
You know, I guess then get the logic. Like if if you won the championship a certain way with LeBron running the point, why are we going away from what made it? Like I don't get it.
I don't get it either, bro. And like I've heard several things, right? So of course the main story is that LeBron is the GM and he wanted Russ, and so a part of me thinks that LeBron is trying to think for the future, right? Like I think LeBron is getting into preservation mode where he knows that like I'm trying to play like another 3 to 4 years for real, and the way that I can be at my best level is that I don't have to literally carry the team. And my thing is, I think he actually wanted Westbrook to help carry that load, right? Like I think he was banking on that somebody was going to be injured. When I say somebody, I mean AD, and he felt that he was going to have somebody there that can help carry the load. Um, Unfortunately, Westbrook. I mean, I just think it's a lot of pressure come playing at home, bro. Like I know LeBron made it look easy playing in Cleveland, but man, when you at home and every game you got 20 to 30 ticket requests, like that's a lot comes with that. And I'm definitely not trying to give a cop out to Westbrook because he's not. I think my thing is it's not that Westbrook is playing bad, bro. It's that Westbrook is not like there's no accountability at all. It's just
None.
he'll talk about everything except that like bro, I'm not playing well right now. And that's the part that gets me.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously AD is a big problem. Like I was just looking like at the stats. I seen something on Instagram. I think it was who was averaging the most. Like LeBron is literally, well, as of yesterday, I don't know about now, but he was point 0.1 behind Joel Embiid. This man is in his 19th season.
It makes no sense on paper at all. Now
Like,
29.
and I don't know if you watched the show they got, but he was talking about it. Like, what makes me still do it? One, I'm still nice as a motherfucker out here.
Yeah,
Like I ain't out here stinking it up. I'm
yeah,
out here getting buckets still.
right.
So um, like and for me, and this is what I try to tell people because obviously you get the debates on who's the best and all that. Like, yo, appreciate what you're saying.
Bingo.
Like this shit is on. Like you got 5 years maybe,
If we
and
lucky,
that's it.
if we lucky, and then
Yeah,
me too, Walt. Like this is what I think is gonna happen, bro. And when I say we, I mean everybody else because I see it already. But I think everybody is not gonna truly understand how great of a player LeBron James is until he's not able to perform. And when the league all of a sudden, now I don't want to say it gets boring, but like, bro, the first time I think they was it last year It may have been last year, or last year was the first time that either LeBron James or Steph Curry was not in the finals, right? And that's an alarming stat. Like I think it was like 10 years or whatever I can't remember the exact stat. But when you think about that, bro, like in the past decade, it's either been LeBron or Steph in the finals. Like think about that. That's huge,
Yeah,
bro. Like that's huge. And the only thing that really compares to it is like the Boston Celtic days of when they were just like running away with everything, and Bill Russell and all of them guys were like just it was an automatic chip almost. Like
hmm
I don't think we get it. We focus on the fact that oh man, like he only won four. I was like, cool, but he got four.
right. And not even that. Who did he prevent from getting to the stage?
There you go.
Like I was watching my man JJ Redick,
Hmm.
and I always talk about like for sidebar JJ Redick to me is the perfect example of just because it translated well in college, it don't translate well in the league. It took him a while, but he was a bucket. Oh man, dude. But I'm watching. He was talking about his time at the Magic, and when Dwight Howard was at his peak, and they had lost to I don't know if they lost to Kobe or whoever they lost to, and everybody was going to come back, and that, and it was just comparing it like more or less appreciate the moment. Next year not guaranteed. He
Right.
said that summer, LeBron signed with Miami,
It
and
was
that was it.
it was over with. And that man, I'm glad you brought that up because I think just in terms we can keep it on sports, but just in terms of sports, winning a championship, right? Like I'm wearing my Braves, like I'm a diehard Braves fan, right? And so I remember us winning the World Series in 1995. I remember that. I was a kid, but I remember that, right? And but look how long it took, bro, like to get another one. And I don't think people understand that. Like you have people that are literally playing in the championship they first, second year in the league and they never get a chance to play again.
Yep.
And LeBron has been there 10 times. Like I think because he normalized going to the championship. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He normalized it.
I mean, when you consistently do something well, it's expected.
Yeah.
Like I remember they said Steph went on a shooting slump. Like Steph's shooting slump is people career highs. What are you talking about? And
Right.
I'm the ultimate Steph Curry hater. I'm a hater with underlying love.
Yeah. You respect the game. You know he's
I
great.
respect the game.
Uh,
I respect the game. So I mean, yeah, man, LeBron. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the amount of I mean, look at Toronto.
hmm.
Look what he did to that team. Granted, it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. Luckily, it worked out. But it almost. I mean, I mean, like and I didn't realize this. The coach had gotten fired. The only job that he could get was with the Pistons, who have it. Like come on, and like that's a whole different topic on
That's a different
black
topic.
coaches.
But
But I don't want to go there. But
you
that's
right
a
though.
you take me from a top three seeded team,
Coach of the year.
coach of the year, and I think he won coach of the year the year he got fired.
Yeah, yeah, he got fired after his coach of the year. Like that's see that okay. So look, let's go through the list, right? Because you kind of made mention of it, but like let's just really look at who LeBron kept out of the finals, or I'll say who LeBron kept for getting a championship. So his teammate right now, Russell Westbrook, he kept him out. Back when they were OKC, he knocked them out, right? You got to look at, and these are people that don't have rings. James Harden don't have rings. Chris Paul don't have rings. You know what I'm saying? And like we're not just mentioning small time players. We're talking about players who are significant in the NBA history that don't have rings because of LeBron.
Melo,
Carmelo
Melo,
don't have a ring. And now we want to take another level. Like these guys have teamed up with LeBron because they desperately want that ring. You know what I'm saying? And then if we look over in the East, the same thing happened, bro. Like another thing that don't get talked about is when LeBron said I was going to the West. You notice how like all everybody now is in the East.
hmm
Like think about it now. Like everybody jumped to the East, and all of a sudden the East became the dominant conference out of nowhere, right? When the East was suffering all these years, it's like, I mean, but like I said, people are not gonna truly understand how great LeBron was until you never see somebody else do it again, bro. And it's like, man,
Yeah, I mean, even his like, like I said, I'm a Braun guy, so I mean, I watched the post games. Like, it was one thing I remember watching where he like depicted the play like like so vividly. As a matter of fact, I think they aired the play to the side of him while he was like running it back. Like, yeah, Paul Pierce grabbed it. He threw it to Rondo. I'm sitting there like, how do you? I mean, hell, DeMar DeRozan said that one of the players on his team didn't know to play, and LeBron told the man to play.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
IQ,
you supposed
man.
to you supposed to go. DeRozan looked like, yo, this is crazy,
And
So
you just said another name, DeRozan. He kept him from getting
yeah,
a chip. Like
yeah.
the list
I
is
mean,
real.
Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, and I mean some of those battles. Like people always talk about, LeBron he didn't have to go through the bad boys Pistons, man. But when he had to play the Pistons, they weren't no slouch.
N- you
I
know,
remember that game. He scored like 18 straight.
yeah. That's when he went off. Like
Yeah, that was like his defining moment, like, or one of them,
yeah, that was
and even the Celtics,
yeah, yeah. No,
So,
the man
but
had a hell of a career, and like I said, we ain't gonna realize it, bro, until he's not on prime time. Like think about it like this, right? You're 19, he's still the captain of the All Star team. So that's saying that not only do his numbers show that he's great, the fans still think that he's great too. It's just the criticism
yep,
is always gonna be, oh man, you went 10 times, but you were only able to win four. But bro, tell that to Jerry West. I guarantee
mm-hmm,
Jerry West would love to get just two. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
Like, but you gotta. I mean, tell that to Carmelo. Carmelo don't have one. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You got these are NBA greats who would just love, like Reggie Miller, Patrick Union. All them dudes would have loved to have the opportunity to just get one ring, let alone
Yep.
play 4 times. The dude basically said, "Come and play with me. You guaranteed a shot at a ring."
I'm gonna tell you what's. I heard somebody say that, and it was a good analogy to this football player. What quarterback can actually say that?
What quarterback can say, "Come and play
Yeah.
with me," and you have a shot at a ring? Well,
Mm-hmm.
right now he retired. It's only Tom.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tom Brady.
Yep. 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 Like
Cause
every time I hear somebody say that, like he's the first person I think about because I'm not a football guy at all.
mhm.
But I know, the I know who I'm supposed to know.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
So, but I always, he's always in the mix. What part of Atlanta you from?
No, I'm right here. I'm not too far from the airport. They call it South Fulton now, but I mean that's I live.
Marketing.
Yeah, yeah, marketing, man. Like Atlanta is changing, bro. Like that's the one thing I can tell you for sure is Atlanta is really changing, and it's like so let me say I've been in Atlanta since '02. So like I was born here, but then I moved and moved to a city called Macon. It's like an hour away from Atlanta. But I came back here for college, and I've been here ever since. So, but in the 20 years that I've been living here, bro, I've seen so many changes. It's crazy. Like Atlanta is one, and it's happening everywhere. Like we had that episode on gentrification. If y'all get a chance, y'all can go back and look at it too with King Williams. Great, great guy that we went to college together. But man, Atlanta is a city where you could be driving by a place and just say that you don't drive by that place for like another 3 to 6 months, it can look completely different because they are knocking down stuff and building up, and they're doing it so fast to the point to where you just really don't get an opportunity. Like when the pandemic hit and people were inside, and when people finally left and went outside, you're like, bro, like they don't bulldoze a whole neighborhood and built
Yeah.
like right over the hood. Like it's crazy, man, how it's happening. And right now, like real estate is going so crazy here in the city, bro. Like you lucky to get property here in the city because you come in and
Yeah,
get something and somebody else outbidding you like crazy, man. So yeah.
yeah. My one of my best friends, he went to Clark.
Okay, okay.
So, I visited. This was around, I'm trying to think. This was around like the Snap era,
Okay.
back when, like Lil Jon was like going crazy, and Yin Yang and Jeezy and all that.
Right, right. Oh,
T.I. I remember, matter, it's funny. I remember buying John Legend first CD on the Promenade.
mm,
So it's that like I guess
yeah,
06 ish, somewhere around there.
oh, in between. Oh,
So
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, Atlanta's a beautiful. I never forget when I arrived when I took got my cab from wow cab. Got
Right.
my cab from
Hey, man, look, sometimes
I got my
it's cool to show your age, bro, because like when you say cab, like I felt that on a spiritual level. You said it. I was like, bro, like I can't think of the last time I caught a cab, but yeah,
yeah cab
cab.
called or flagged one down, or so I got on my cab, and they let me right there on whatever that main road is, and I guess is that the AUC, I guess.
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah. Like
and I'm just looking, I'm looking around like, yo, this is crazy.
yeah. Y'all remember when
Totally.
yeah, it's a culture shock when you come and I'll say this, right? Because I'm assuming you're talking about just like black, like
Yes.
right? And so here's the thing, right? You don't realize it until you leave. Like for people that live in Atlanta, you don't realize how black Atlanta is and how successful in black Atlanta is until you leave, right? Because when you're here, it's normal. Like I know where the white people are at, right? Like I know their quote unquote neighborhoods or whatever, but it's nothing in Atlanta to just see like a black guy riding down Camp Creek in a Bentley or like a phantom. Like it's nothing. Like you just it's normal. It's really normal, and you can be on Peachtree and see the same thing. And it doesn't matter where you're at in the city. You can see like black wealth here in Atlanta, and you take it for granted, and you don't notice it until you go somewhere else, and you're just like, yo, like I ain't seen no black people in like 3 miles, bro. Like where? But I go here, I step outside, I can any pocket of the city, it's just a wealth of black people, bro. And like that's one thing that I think the only other city that I have been told that you can compare it to is like a DC. DC is like that, where you know where all the white people are, but the black people are pretty much everywhere else. Um,
Yeah.
is Baltimore like that though? Like, I mean, I've
Nah, Baltimore is mixed. I mean, DC is definitely a black town.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, they're like now, like I was when you said it, I was thinking initially what came to my mind, and only been there a handful of times, was I always compared Atlanta to Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah, I like Charlotte a lot actually. Like, yeah, I like
But Charlotte and DC is oh yeah, yeah, it is very 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 black. I mean, it's not too many. Damn, now that you said that, yeah.
it's just not, bro.
Outside of like the monuments and stuff like that, like that's more tourist,
Yeah,
attractions.
you
But
take
like the neighborhoods,
yeah, you take away the National Mall and that area of DC, like where the tourist attraction, DC is for the most part black.
yeah,
You know what I mean? New Orleans is another city that I think too, but it's it is a segregated. Well, I don't want to say segregated, but there's a mix of black and white in New Orleans, but I feel like every time that I go to New Orleans, I'm only in like the black spots. So I kind of see that a little bit more. But I feel like Atlanta, bro, like no matter where you go, you're gonna see black people doing well. like successful black people.
Yeah, and see, that's not. I mean, in Baltimore, that's not really a common thing. I mean, you have it, but it's not. Is if if I saw Bentley when I walked outside, I'm utterly surprised.
Right.
Like,
Like who is
who the
that?
hell is that?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that's not something, that like the CIAA was just here for the first year,
Okay.
and I was a little nervous. I'm like, this is, you know,
Baltimore said,
Baltimore's
yeah.
a little different, and I was, um, but I mean, from what I hear, I mean, things went well, well for the town, and it's the first year, so things will get better, but. I definitely was like, this isn't Charlotte. Like Charlotte has the epicenter and all that to hold a lot of those events in one space,
Right.
and others, they have stuff, elsewhere, but, so hopefully they'll build on that. But yeah, man, Atlanta's I was down there, well, not in Atlanta, in Greenville.
South
My best
Carolina,
friend, no, Greenville, Georgia.
Georgia. Oh man, you was in the you was in it.
Man, 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 I was in it.
Yeah, you
I came down literally. I told my buddy, I was like, man, I'm about to fly down next week
mm,
and leave the next day. He like, well, you coming for 24 hours? I said 24 hours. I ain't even bringing no clothes. I
yeah,
said I'm gonna bring change the underclothes, take a shower and all that. Man, look,
shit.
I literally flew in. We went to the gentleman's club,
Mm-hmm.
left, and we drove. I just remember him driving forever. I was like, how? It was far, and it was very, very, very country,
Yeah, man.
very country.
Greenville. So I just looked it up because I was trying to see like Greenville. It says about 44 miles outside of Atlanta. So yeah, like when you said that, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. I thought you were talking about Greenville, South Carolina. You said
Nah,
Georgia, bro. I'm like, I don't even know if I've ever been to Greenville, Georgia.
it's. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it wasn't nothing there. I mean, I think I might have saw. I don't know if that was a hardware store or a Dollar General. I remember a store and a gas station, but it was like, yeah,
It's,
but
it's a different type
it
of
was
different
a
type of.
different type of living, So, but hey, it was a good time, though. Always a good time.
Yeah, I mean but see that's one thing you learn about Georgia, right? Because most of the time, if you say Georgia, people automatically think about Atlanta, right? But the reality is, outside of Atlanta, Columbus, Savannah, Augusta, Macon, Georgia is like country, like dirt roads, cows, fields, like that's
Hmm.
Georgia, bro. Like when you take away those five cities outside of that, that's all you get. Like if you go you can go about 45, 50 minutes outside of metro Atlanta in any direction and you in the sticks and you gotta watch yourself, you know what I mean? That's just really how an hour outside of the city in any direction, bro. Like it can go down in a real way, you know what I mean? So that's the reality of living in Georgia, man. Like cuz I'm a Georgia boy, like born and raised, and I can tell you I've seen some things that'll make you like bro, like you serious? And you also see some things like wow, like it's just it's a beautiful place to live, but you have to be on your guard. I'll put it like that. Like
Oh yeah,
down here, bro, like I can tell you for sure, no matter what building you walk in, there's at least two to three guns in every building. Like just on persons. Like everybody down here carry a gun, so it's the law of the land. Like everybody got it on 'em, so assume everybody got it on them. You know,
yeah. I mean, it's when this is when I knew my homeboy lived in the country. He was like, I guess the way they buy meat is like buy like a half a cow. He said, I said, oh, what does that consist of? Like, what do you
Yeah, he in the country.
like? What are you getting?
Yeah, he in
I
the country.
mean, you got to talk to them. I'm like, wow. And then you brought up Macon, Georgia. I'm a avid, well, not active, but when I was younger, a wrestling fan. And I
Okay.
remember Johnny B. Bad
Yeah.
was from Macon, Georgia, and that so. And when you said Macon, I said, hold on, I think that's where Johnny B. Bad was from.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's what the character said
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
wrestling. So. But yeah, man, I love what y'all doing. It definitely get me through some of them days at work. I'm
Hey,
sitting there and the stuff hit home, So, I remember in my job, I was a part of this. They had a marketing video, and it was about connecting. And the one thing I liked about it, and it made sense. Like a lot of people can say things and try to deliver messages, but everybody don't connect.
yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Like I have at least 8 podcasts on my Google podcast that's there. I listen to them. I catch them when I catch them, you know. But like the last one with the best friends,
Oh
female,
yeah.
like that's a real thing.
That's a real thing, bro. It's a real
That's
thing.
a real thing, and to hear it, and then like I say, you guys kind of sound like me and my partners. So it's just always refreshing to hear, you know, one similar stories, and make you reminisce or remember, you know, take you down memory lane, and it just it's fruitful information,
Yeah.
So I hope all the listeners are taking heed and letting people know and sharing it and passing it on because there's so much other BS that we share, including myself.
Right. Right.
You
We all do
know,
it. Yeah. We all do it.
you know, it's like when you come across something that has, like I said, some fruitfulness to it, it needs to be heard on the largest platform possible.
Well, look, bro. Hey, first off, thank you for saying that. Like, we really appreciate y'all. Like, for real. Like, because for us, it's seven of us, right? Like, we seven deep, and we all met in college, except for me and Corey. We met in high school, but like, we all met in college, freshman year, Georgia State University, 2002. And so we have a real true brotherhood. Like we have 20 years of friendship, and like we legit can say whatever we want to without judgment to any one of us, right? And so the conversations that we have in our group chat, we're just like bro, like other people are probably dealing with some of the same stuff we dealing with, so we should take this to the podcast and like just have a normal conversation like we normally would have in our group chat. Just have it on a microphone and a camera in front of us and like really discuss stuff that we want to talk about. And the reception has been great, man. And so like people like you who tell us that you truly enjoy our conversation like that, that makes it all worth it, bro, because we know that we're saying something. Like I'll put it like this. The fact that blackmanthink.com was available says a lot. You see what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing to us. Like the fact that has thought, and not saying that it's such an innovative idea, like bro, like black men think that shouldn't be that innovative. It's just saying that that space is wide open, and so we should fill it. And we know that, bro, black men do be we out here thinking, bro. We ain't just out here doing what everybody's
Yeah,
doing. Like we really thinking about some real critical things, man, and trying to make our lives better and the people around us lives better, bro. So like we truly appreciate you for sure. For one, for being a Patreon member, like we know that, bro. Like anytime somebody want to spend money with you, like that means that they've invested in what we have going on. So like we do appreciate. We don't take that lightly at all.
right.
But also just telling people about us, like that's important. I'm just like, even if you are just a subscriber of the podcast itself, when you tell somebody about what we're doing, it means the world, bro, because now they get the opportunity to explore it for themselves and possibly tell somebody else. So thank you for real. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I say, it gotta be more of it because I mean, it's tough. I mean, and I mean, because even like I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and we were watching. Well, no, I was at work, and we were talking about high and learning,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, um, and this was maybe a couple months. This was a couple months ago. Um, but my staff were teenagers and they had never seen it.
Okay.
So I told them, I said it's a hard watch. Because I work at a retirement community. So I mean,
Yeah.
far as like the clientele there, is not, it's Caucasian. Um, so like I was trying to tell them, just watching certain things, and then I don't know, America and Chris Rock had this. I don't know if you watched Chris Rock, but he had on a special. This was years ago. He said America is like that uncle who paid for your college
Hmm.
but didn't touch you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a fan of Chris
It's
Rock.
like
Yeah.
and for me it gets a little rough when you're watching certain things to kind of still come to work and navigate
Right.
like it's okay. you know um and I don't know, it's just America's a funny thing. So that's why, like I said, when I see positivity going on, I try to support it. I was just watching Coach Carter with my son,
Hmm.
and just trying to because he's at that age where it's a bit of a struggle. So I know a lot of times, just like when I was a kid, my mother might not couldn't reach me, but Hulk Hogan could, or
Yeah.
Michael Jordan could. So if Michael Jordan said it, I'm gonna listen to him. So I'm like, all right, in my head, I'm gonna let him watch this. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and some of your subscribers, and you may think I'm crazy. I let my son watch Boys in the Hood, and
No,
he's 10.
no, I get it.
But I'm like, I'd rather you see this, and I'm there to explain it,
There
than
you
you
go.
live this and don't know what to do.
That's the biggest part, what you just said, that you're able to explain it, right? Now, letting them watch it and just like leaving it to interpretation.
Oh no, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, but for you to be there to explain to them what's going on, that's the important part, because now they can see it in a place to where it ain't just dad just telling me whatever, because kids gonna be kids. We all been there where your parents try to tell you something, and if we would have listened to what our parents told us at 12, bro, we would have been completely different individuals. We wouldn't have had to
Hmm.
go through them 5 years of being hard headed and trying to figure it out on our own. We would have had the head start. But kids, we all have to go through that. So with them seeing a film like, especially like Boys in the Hood, and see what they went through, and it ain't just you telling them not to do this, they can see it and be like, "Oh no, Trey was right. Like
Right.
he should have got out the car." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need to
And
see,
I mean, it's stuff like Furry is like the scene about gentrification.
man, Polly,
Like that's so like that's that was 93. I don't know what year that came out,
something
but
like that.
like we 30 years in, and like that's the active like the it that could have been filmed last week.
Right, right, right. And that's
So
91
so I mean,
came out in
91.
91.
31 years ago, so, I let him watch that, to kind of see, different sides, man who watched John Q. So he can see as a parent, you got to sometimes figure shit out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my son needs 50,000 or whatever, but I got rent that's still due. I got this is still due. I haven't eaten. Like, so just trying to see that, so he can see different perspectives. Because a lot of times when you have something or you have total access all the time, your sense of appreciation isn't as strong. So, by him having a father, like he doesn't know to not have it. So
Right,
he doesn't know, you know, certain things like this is life for him.
right,
So, just trying to show different, avenues because he may not see me struggle, but I go through stuff. I just don't bring it to you. Like I go through it every day.
right.
So just trying to make sure he's well rounded and all that good stuff. I know I told a few people about the Boys in the Hood. They was like, I don't know. I'm like, man, look, that's a story.
It's a
That's
story.
a real story from the police scene, from kids stealing, at a young age and getting thrown in the system and can't really recover from it, to the boy as a kid coming home in a wheelchair, like
It's reality.
managing relationships, at a young age and trying to fit, like it's so many layers. Like
And you look at even if
Yeah,
you go down to Ricky, man, like he's showing you that the responsibility, like Ricky had a kid at an early age, bro, showing him like,
yeah,
gotta be responsible. And Ricky having everything in the world, but he still lost it in the end because, the crowd, the company that you can keep. Even sometimes when you're not even trying to keep the wrong company, it's just being associated
right.
with the crowd, bro. Like so, it's so many layers to that movie, man. Especially looking back on it, like that movie came out in '91. I was 7. I probably saw it. I don't know. I probably
Yeah, me
around that
too.
same time, like 10 or 11 when I saw it. You know what I mean? But man, it's still powerful today. Like I can watch it right
Yeah,
like it's brand new. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
yeah. That's one of them. Like I said, one of them good ones, man. So yeah, just trying to show him, like I said, some different scenarios, and hopefully he can connect because sometimes as a parent that can be a struggle. Why my father on my back? And I mean, I get it. I get it. I was him, and I'm like, I get it, bro. But I'm telling you, I promise you, I'm telling you some good stuff.
Yeah,
It
man.
is light at the end of the tunnel, but you're going the wrong way, my
Going
man.
the wrong way. I mean that's the toughest thing, bro. Like me, I have two daughters, and so I don't have to have the same type of conversations, but I still got to have conversations. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's a little bit different with daughters, but you know, they make me softer, right? Because like where I would be tough, it's just like, bro, you look at them and it's just like, oh man, they just want conversation. Like they just want to be able to tell you what's going on. And sometimes like you have to learn as a parent, just like, all right, cool. I already know the answer, but let me listen to what you got to say because I might learn something in what you're trying to say. And like my oldest is only 4 years old, bro, but like I've learned so much stuff from her just listening. Like I can tell her to do something, and she's like, "No, Dad, I don't want to do that." And as a parent, the first thing you think like, "Bro, don't talk to me like that." But then you gotta
Right.
you gotta really think about that. Like that kid with no filter, no world, no nothing to kind of warp her brain or anything. She's telling you straight up, like, no, like, don't talk to me that way. Like, and you have to really, it's a gut check. Like, you want to be, you know how it is as a parent, bro. Your word is law, but you like,
Yeah.
and like, no, man, you talking to me like in a way that I don't appreciate. And if you really sit back and think about it, if somebody talked to you the way that you're trying to talk to me right now, you're gonna have the same reaction. And it's like, dang, she right. I ain't trying to hear it right now, but she right. Like, no, Dad, just like ask me what you want me to do. Don't yell at me. Like, I don't like that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
bro, what is
And I
this?
mean, yeah, it's definitely a good check. I've definitely had my fair share of those moments.
Yeah, it's a gut check for sure. When you just like, this what my mom was talking about all the time. I'm getting that
And
feeling
my mother, when I say she loves it,
yeah, man.
she's loving this to
Yeah.
like see me go through what I go through. And she is like, that is your son.
Yep.
You did the same thing, like, and, so she, and then, grandparents, well, I'm gonna say my mother, I'm not gonna say all.
I got you.
It's soft. They soft. you know, grandparents are definitely soft, but it's definitely with love. I mean, you got to have balance.
Yeah.
They got to be the one to call. And I mean, now, looking back at it, I called my grandmother a couple of times, to kind of ease the pain. Talking all the stuff thinking about doing and I'm not going to do.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. No, I mean that's the reality, bro. Like your parents are I remember how hard my parents were on me and like they my kids can do anything. And I was like, bro, like I couldn't do half of the stuff they get away with right now. And it's just like, man, but then you think about it like they are reliving your childhood through a different lens. They're looking at like they have true enjoyment. Like as a parent, you don't have the same enjoyment because you're trying to steer your children in the right way. So you're trying to enforce discipline. You're trying to give them some type of standard of living and ideals and all of those things. But your parents are just looking at them like, no, we just finna love on them. They finna have fun when they're around
Hmm.
grandma, like because they don't have to do the same thing that they had to do with you. Yeah, that's your job.
Right.
So now they just
Right.
enjoying it. Like, no, cool. Oh, they get to stay up to 9 with you. Hey, I have a strict schedule when they're at home with me. Like, I got
Yeah.
break all of this when you keep them. But it is what it is, bro. It's a beautiful thing. That's why they always love their grandma. So
Hmm.
we get it.
Hmm. I know my mother actually just moved back to Baltimore, and my son had got in trouble last week, so I had sent them over there one day just for sometimes you need that separation.
Right.
Just go to your grandmother's house, and I called. I said, I'm about to come get you. I want to say with grandma, and I was like, okay. And for me, like I said, for me, it's different because until my mother moved back, I'm not one to be asking people to watch my son. So
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
I got them, I got them. So like I've never had that family member to just call to say, "Hey, can you watch him?" And like I'm driving, I'm like, "Damn, my son 10. This is the first time I've ever been able to drive to my mom's house and drop him off. Because she lived in Virginia for like since '06. Um, so it was just like, damn, this is I could get used to this.
I'm in that same boat. Like both myself and my wife, like our my well my father passed, but my mom, she lives still in Macon, and my wife family is from Augusta. And so everybody is like, I'm an hour, my mom an hour away, and her mom and dad is like 2.5 hours away. So I'm in that same boat. Like, yeah, I have some homeboys who are like, oh yeah, y'all can drop the kids over here if y'all want to go on a date night or whatever. But for the most part, bro, we don't have the luxury of just saying like, yeah, boom, keep them for a little bit. Like we have to make
Yeah.
plans. If my mom come up here, like I gotta make plans for her to come up and all of this, and it's just like, bro, that sounds real good now being able to drive like 15 minutes and drop them off. Like, yeah, we'll have
And
that.
it's en route to work. And it's en route to work.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect.
This is
That's
perfect.
perfect.
I'm talking perfect. Like I gotta pass the house to go to my job. So,
Yeah, that's perfect.
it's perfect. So, that's definitely been a plus, man. But I'm gonna get up here, man. Like I say, keep, thank y'all, the team, tell you, salute, salute, keep it up. I would like to see y'all dive in the we didn't talk about it much, but about how that coaching thing, far as
Oh yeah.
how sometimes they kind of you'll be on the elite team, and I hope get fired or whatever have you, when, and now you're pushing me to a team that's doomed.
Yeah.
So now my value as a coach is down because they're not executing.
Right.
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
I'm still that great coach, but
You're in a bad
for whatever
situation.
reason, you know, and in the NBA, I did see it. There was a record number of head coaches, but you know, it could be more in the NFL. I'm not a avid watcher, so I don't know. But I mean, to my understanding, there's not a whole lot
No, it's
besides.
it's worse. It's like the NBA makes the NFL in terms of black coaches look like looks like it makes it look like an Ivy League school versus a junior college. I'll put it like
Mm,
that. Like
damn,
there's right now there are two
I
head
was gonna say
coaches.
I know the Pittsburgh coach is black.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and Lovey Smith. I think he just got a job with the Houston Texans.
Okay,
So it's two black coaches, head coaches and it's what 32 teams. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah, that kind of put it in perspective right there. Like yeah, it's different. Like the NBA is progressive compared to how the NFL is moving, man. Like they just the black coaches, no matter how great they are, you know, they get one shot. And the thing that sucks with them is that they don't get a like in the NBA with Casey, how he coach of the year got fired and then at least he went to be a head coach at another team. At the NFL, bro, like if you're a head coach and you get fired, you might not even become a coordinator somewhere. Like you still got to
right.
like you got to work your way up, back up to a head coach, and that's not always the case for the white counterparts in the NFL. But yeah, we're gonna I'll write it down, man. We'll definitely try to deep dive when I get the fellas on here and just have that real conversation about it because it's happening, man, and it's happening in more than just sports. It's happening in corporate America. It's happening in like everywhere, bro. So yeah, it's definitely a conversation to be had for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you would think, you look at somebody like and I mean, he's early into that program, but Deion Sanders, you
Hmm.
know, that coach that you can connect to is important, and you see that because you seen, I forget the kid's name, who was supposed to go to Florida
Oh
and
yeah,
walked away
walked away.
and gone to Jackson State.
Yeah.
And that's a hometown. That's a huge
Oh
program.
yeah. Oh yeah.
He would have been on ESPN
Every week.
guaranteed
Every
every
week.
week. So but I mean, I'm sure it was had something to do with the culture, you know, um, and connecting, having somebody that you can really talk to, like really can say, Coach, man, I got into a little scrap with, I was at the skating ring and I
Yep.
didn't know that was her boyfriend. Like everybody can't relate to that,
Man,
you
that's so
know,
real. That's so real, bro. That's so real.
you
Like
know,
it's important. Being able to relate is important in every setting. In every
yeah,
like
you know,
having the proper context to understand that a conversation, you know how it is, like we as black men sometimes can be having a passionate conversation, but from the outside looking in, it's an argument, right?
hmm
If you don't have the proper context, you think all you see is a group of black men arguing. So now the police being called. Now it don't escalate it. But if you somebody that's from our culture that understand what that is, bro, they just talking about LeBron and KD.
yep,
They talking about LeBron and KD. What are you talking about? Like you don't call the police because they arguing about like it ain't that big of a deal. But if you're not from our culture, you don't understand that we talk passionate about certain topics. You know what I'm saying? And now something that escalated because you don't know. You're just from the outside looking in and don't know how we talk. And if you don't know how we talk, you ain't gonna understand. It's just as simple as that. So, yeah, bro. Look,
yeah,
thank you,
it's no problem.
thank you.
No problem, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. I look forward to more episodes. And um, I don't know if it was you I was talking to, but I was talking to a member of your team on my Instagram, and one of y'all said, well, if I, when I come down to Atlanta, let y'all know. And I said, all right, if I come down there, don't do me like Von L. Hill did Martin.
See, that's a part
Had
of
me out there,
look.
had
That's
me out
about
there
part of it.
crazy.
Hey, that's about part of being about our culture, man. You got to know what we're talking about to understand.
My man said, catfish
Food.
delicious.
Potatoes to the food, man. But no, we ain't gonna do you like that, bro. I can guarantee you, man. If you down here in the city, hit us up, give us enough time, man. We'll go and grab a beer or something, man. Like we'll try to make sure we can accommodate, especially our Patreon members, bro. Like you supporting us, bro. So like, look, we can the least we can do is go and grab a beer. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But I'm gonna get up here, man. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Uh, uh, many suc much success on your future endeavors and everything. And yeah, man, keep it up. Much
All
love.
right, bro.
All right, man. Peace.
Later. So look, man, thank you, Walt, for coming through, man. It was a great conversation, man. We talked about everything from the Lakers, LeBron, legacy, all the way to being a father and the importance of being a father and how we can, we're responsible for our children's future, and we're also responsible for listening to our children, as well. So, like, great conversation tonight. And if you like these type of conversations, let us know, man. Make sure you like and subscribe and rate, comment, all of that good stuff. We are on YouTube. We're trying to build that YouTube community up a little bit more. We know you guys listen on a podcast platform. Those numbers are great, but our YouTube numbers are not where they need to be. So we want to try to boost those up. And if you want to see the content, by all means, click on it, like it, subscribe, rate, review. But if you're just here for the podcast portion, the audio only, we love it. We know that the content is getting there. If you want to have the opportunity to do what Walt did and actually come on the podcast and share topics and talk, then you have to join our Patreon community. What we do there is we have bonus episodes. we interact with the patrons, and we call them thinkers. So we interact with our thinkers and have good conversations there. We do different polls. We share bonus episodes. If you want episodes of like our first podcast that we didn't release, we actually released those on our Patreon account. So if you want to be a part of that community, click the link in our bio. Go to blackmanthink.com. However you get the content, and make sure you go there and just subscribe. You know, we have different tiers there, so you get the tier that's beneficial for you. I'll just say that. There are perks with all other tiers, but whichever one is more beneficial for you, make sure you go there, and so you can get the content that you're looking for. But other than that, oh, forgot, ask a black man. I almost see when I don't have the crew here, man. I'm trying to figure it out on my own. Let me see what we got here. Um, let's see. Uh, that's a weird question. Okay, here's one. This is just a basic question. What was your first job? My first job, me, Justin, JD, last name good. I go by all of those names. My first real job, because my first actual job, I worked with my dad. My dad was a painter and commercial and residential, so he would paint houses, paint different businesses. So my first job was working with him, riding in the truck, going to different job sites, and painting and picking up stuff. Sometimes just riding in the truck. That used to be like part of the job itself. But that was, man, that was a good memory. That I just thought about my dad, but that was a real good memory just driving in the truck. Um, but my first official job was at it's a grocery store called Kroger. I was a courtesy clerk, aka I bagged groceries. I made $5.15 an hour plus tips. I used to kill on the tips because I used to like I figured out a system, and I would just like help people out and have a conversation with them that wasn't a pushy conversation. It was just like have a real conversation with people, and so I used to do pretty well on tips. But yeah, that was my first official job, was at Kroger. I also sold a lot of CDs and candy and all of that stuff. Like I was just like always been a entrepreneur slash hustler. I've always found a way to make some money. But my first official job where I had to put in paperwork was Kroger as a courtesy clerk, 5.15 an hour. I never forget that. That was a it wasn't a hard job, but it wasn't a job that I just like enjoyed. But it was a job, right? Had to make some money while I was in high school, so that's what I did. But thank y'all for that. But look, once again, Black Man Think Podcast. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. We grow, and the only way we grow is that you let other people know. So until then, we'll see y'all next week. Probably have the whole crew on next week. Corey and Mo. We'll try to see if we can get Tori in on some conversation. We might even see if we can get Chris in. We gonna see what's up. Maybe Ace. It would be nice to have a full pod with everybody. We'll see. It's all good. Tune in next time. See y'all.
The Black Men Think Podcast.